Good afternoon and welcome to Pan-African News on Pan-African Television with me, Anane, Nartey. We're streaming live on Facebook at Pan-African Television. A very good afternoon to our neighboring countries watching from far and near. Now let's move on to our top stories making headlines. Electoral Commission disqualified 5 aspirants plus 12 to contest 2020 polls. Now NDC launches 2020 campaign in Shayo Sudoku constituency. Security on top of affairs for successful election, Defense Minister. There's many other stories coming up shortly in the next 1 hour. Please stay and be my guest. Now this is your election in focus. Electoral Commission has declared 12 presidential aspirants to contest the 2020 presidential election. The chairperson of the commission, Madam Jane Mensah, made this known during the commission's Let the Public Know press briefing at its headquarters here in Accra.
The Electoral Commission has announced the 12 persons eligible for contesting the 2020 presidential elections. They are Alfred Walker on the independent candidate, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for the NPP, Burgess Jogbanuku on the ticket of the PPP, John Dramani Mahama on the ticket of the NDC, Christian Kwabena Andrews for the Ghana Union Movement, Ivor Greenstreet for the CPP, David Apasara for the PNC, Hassan Ayariga for the APC, Kofi Apalo on the ticket of the LPG, Nana Kunedu Ajiman Rollins on the ticket of the NDP, Ekwia Donko for the GFP, and Henry Herbert Latte for the GCPP.
Now, the Electoral Commission has disqualified 5 presidential aspirants from contesting in the upcoming polls. Chairperson for the Commission, Jane Mensah, made this disclosure during the update on the status of candidates following the submission of their respective form ahead of the election.
Speaking at the press conference in Accra, the Electoral Commission indicated that a myriad of issues triggered the disqualification, most of which involved the details provided by the political parties at the filing stage.
There were no IT issues with his nomination forms. However, the technical team noticed that 19 persons who have allegedly supported the CPP candidate had also supported Mr. Kofi Kante. A further check revealed that these persons have not endorsed the candidate. Indeed, the CPP wrote to the Commission about the issue, indicating that these persons were executives of their party. The technical team found that the signatures of these 19 persons were fake, and the matter was referred to the CID department of the Ghana Police Service. The CID did confirm that these signatures were fake. The candidate has therefore been disqualified, and the Commission will forward this issue to the police for further action. Kofi Kante was the 12th person to file his nominations with the Commission. There were no IT issues. However, the technical team found that a number of the signatures of many supporters followed the same pattern. And this was the signatures were referred to the CID division of the Ghana Police Service. And the police has confirmed that indeed a good number of the signatures were fake. The candidate has therefore been disqualified and will therefore not contest the 2020 presidential election. Was the 13th person to file his nominations with the commission. There were no IT issues. However, the technical team noticed that the handwritings were similar and the signatures were also similar and referred the matter to the CID division of the Ghana Police Service. The CID division confirmed that indeed a number of the signatures were fake, and the candidate has therefore been disqualified and will not contest in the 2020 presidential election. Was the 14th person to file his nomination forms with the commission. There were no IT issues. However, the candidate failed to provide supporters for some districts in the Greater Accra region and had incomplete data for a number of his supporters. Indeed, some of the supporters were not registered voters in the area of authority of the district assembly to which they endorsed his candidature, and there are a good number of them. The technical team also noted that the same persons, although they had endorsed for him on the 4 separate forms, had different signatures. And what this means is that if you look at the forms, there were 4 forms. And so if you had a person called Amasewa, her signature appeared on the 4 forms. His signature as appearing on the 4 forms were different. And this was in the case of Ashanti and Northeast regions. This was referred to the CID division of the Ghana Police Service, and they noted that the signatures were fake. And he has been disqualified from participating and contesting in the 2020 presidential election. The forms to the commission was Mr. Adeli Boatin. There were no IT issues with his form. However, a good number of the 3 of the persons who supported his candidature have denied endorsing the candidate's nomination, and the commission has a letter to that effect. The commission referred the matter to the CID division of the Ghana Police Service, and they confirmed that the signatures were fake. He has therefore been disqualified from contesting the 2020 presidential election.
The National Democratic Congress in the Shai Osu Doku constituency has launched its 2020 campaign over the weekend. The event, which took place at the Dodowa Presbyterian Park, was part of measures to help the Member of Parliament, Honorable Linda Kwele Oklu, maintain her seat.
Speaking at the launch, Member of Parliament for the constituency, Honorable Linda Oklu, urged party supporters to sell the National Democratic Congress idea Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram, Honorable Sam George, who was at the launch, urged the people of Shai Osu Doku to rally behind their Member of Parliament to maintain the seat. He stressed the need for party members to vote massively for the party to bring former President John Dramani Mahama back to power.
John Dramani Mahama. Said we come hanya. Sebita Sanchez to appear our go here. I think I will move. What then will you? What was I? What I believe? I can appear here. John Mama Tabadeng again. Let you check Papa. Again, Papa who died. Who best oversee Juma? Who need Passobia or that power now with the Agosia? We were a Shamu. John Mahama see me country house. Our national apprenticeship program. National apprenticeship program. On one Casabe Fatana, Mapuni Mapawa. 500,000 youth. So mechanic. And you are John Mahama Befaso, or Befo MPs, and Mutuma John Mahama, Namutuma Aqualia. Aqualia de Mudimba, Ben was that, Jubilee House was that. Mudin Kowa, and no John Mahama, or Betia Kano. Now went to me, I got Ejumano.
The Defense Minister, Dominic Nitiwul, has underscored the readiness and preparedness of the law enforcement agencies to address security-related challenges as Ghana head to the poll on December 7th, 2020. He further indicated that all necessary measures have been put in place to ensure that the election are conducted fairly and freely.
Already deployed what we need to do to contain the situation. And it is not about military deployment. It's about ensuring that we make sure that the place is calm. And I want to thank the people of the Volta region for the support, enormous support. We met the chiefs and they pledged to support us. So I really want to thank them for the cooperation. If you hear of all the massive arrests and fishing out of all the corporate, it is the support of the people themselves. They are working actively with the peacekeepers, and then our security agencies. So I want to encourage them to continue to do that. They should continue to work with our security agencies, give them information, let them know exactly the criminals that we are dealing with so that we can fish them out of our society, unite this country and move forward. And I can assure you the election will be peaceful. The security agencies are on top of our affair. I've always said that an MPP government would not do anything, to mar the peace that we enjoy in this nation. The president has promised, and I stand on behalf of the president again to say that this government will not do anything to mar the peace that we have. We will rather allow the will of the people to take place than do anything just because of power. I can assure you.
If you're just joining us, this is Pan-African News on Pan-African Television with me, Anane Nartey. Note, we're streaming live on Facebook at Pan-African Television. We'll be back shortly with more news. Stay tuned.
Planet malaria din ya chinsa
eja kwa kuma 2 years so no down proke herba mister usi simbadi use from oyire so doctor ka chene say o malaria mo ani bi oni pedue mu a so no dank antima x yare malaria ebe kokora obi wo hono ma ne yem ye ne yanso a so no dank gastro care herba mister ho beton dank phyto care herba mister koko ebe ye hu adwuma ma wapon waposo won tutu dank extra care ba mister obenya hoden ne watimi anante mekafo dank no nyina e de amamo
na ebenya dwe nya bi we
pharmacy shop ana herba shop also pe dank nura ye be ma obi
pacho mo number ye sen
0266593330
enroi oba pemfo oba o ma akora nufo anya akora woni mfie du mienu ntime no FDA ahwehwe sa edwedie nkratwe mu agya tum se eye
it's incredible. Bang on target.
Now, a member of the campaign team for the NPP Upper East Dentra parliamentary candidate, Charles Edujemfi, has allegedly accused supporters of the NDC for defacing campaign posters in certain areas within the constituency. Registering his displeasure in a Facebook post, he labeled the act as shameful, barbaric, and allayed fear over concerns of safety and security in the constituency. So I've been joined on phone by the member of the NPP parliamentary candidates campaign team. He's in the person of Charles Edujemfi. If we have him on the line. Hello, sir. Hello. Okay, so we're going to be joined on phone shortly by the member of parliament, the member of the NDC parliamentary candidates campaign team. There's been an issue of NDC defacing campaign posters in certain constituency in the Dentra constituency, Dentra East constituency. So we are yet to find out more information how defaming this issue is and how it has actually affected the people of the NPP. Let me say the people or parties or aspirant in the constituency or in the community. So we're trying to have him on the line. So till then, let's move on to other stories, then try again and have him on the line. Now, supporters of Guinea's opposition leader, Selu Darling Diallo, have flooded the street of Conakry following his self-proclaimed victory in the first round of the presidential vote over the weekend.
Speaking at a press conference yesterday, Diallo said he had emerged victorious despite anomalies which marred the ballot. Soon after, his supporters chanted "President" despite no official results being published and the electoral body saying its claim was void. But for all the scenes of jubilation, there was also tense moments in the city with security forces firing tear gas canisters at crowds of supporters. The election, which pitted President Alpha Condé, who is eyeing a third term against the veteran opposition leader, has raised tensions in the former French colony and West African country.
Now, the Madagascar government announced on Monday the end of the state of health emergency, which was introduced due to the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the president, André Rajolina, the country had 96% recovery rate.
He attributed the recovery to some of the measures taken, like the distribution of more than 7 million doses of COVID organics distributed free of charge throughout the island. Despite lifting the state of emergency, the reopening of the country's borders, which was scheduled for October 29, has been postponed due to the increase in cases in other countries. Nosy airports will remain open to countries not suffering from a second wave of the pandemic, while international flights to mainland Madagascar remain completely suspended. As of Monday, October 19, Madagascar recorded 238 deaths out of over 16,000 confirmed cases.
Now let's do some health-related stories where breast lumps are more common in older women, but they can also develop in teenagers, young girls, and babies. There are many different types of breast lump that happens in children, but most are non-cancerous.
Even though breast lumps can be harmless, it's still important to see a doctor if you or your child notice changes in what their breasts normally feel like. Breast cysts are the most common type of lump in children and teens. A breast cyst is a fluid-filled packet that can be just under the skin or inside the breast tissue. Breast cysts are almost always benign, but they can become painful just before a woman begins her period. The cysts might also change size over the course of her period. Fibroadenoma are often found in older teenagers and young women in their early 20s. They are typically painless and benign. Fibroadenoma are made up of gland and connective tissue and can be different sizes. Fibrocystic changes are normal changes in the texture of a woman's breast tissue that causes the breast to feel lumpy or ropey. The breast may also be painful, especially right before a woman's period. Fibrocystic breasts are common and harmless, but they can sometimes cause discomfort. Precocious puberty or puberty that begins too early can cause breast buds to appear in very young girls. A breast bud is a lump that develops under the nipple in the first stage of breast growth. The lump may be tender and sore, but it is completely normal in girls undergoing puberty. However, if your child is under 8 years old and developing breast buds, she may be experiencing precocious puberty. It is important to talk to a physician if you believe your child is developing breasts too early or showing other signs of early puberty. A breast lump may only need to be watched by a doctor to see if the lump gets larger or begins hurting. An ultrasound of a lump may be used to help diagnose what type of lump it is. The doctor may take a biopsy when a small sample of the breast lump tissue is removed and checked under a microscope. Lumps that are growing quickly may need to be surgically removed. It is done with a procedure called a lumpectomy when a doctor removes the abnormal breast tissue while your child is asleep under general anesthesia.
Up next is Business. Stay tuned.
Hello. Okay, what's the matter? Why? My wife comes and send a message. Hello. What's happened?
It's a chunk to be a quiet say what? I dare say,
Miss I found a friend. I'm so young. My wife not testing messages here. And our officer, so I'm trying to tell you, man. She says, I
mean, so we a guy man, and may young who could look cry. And also wants a family drilling company limited for Kana.
What's it name? Family Drilling Company Limited.
Ye two borehole, biofuel, biogas, swimming pool, plumbing works in Naso, ye be, Frey 0240 333 111 and NASA 0244 144 822.
Miampa and you want to do me see? Me want to be family drilling now. Family drilling.
What fashion yala shit?
Me out that
Do you desire to develop a career in media and journalism, beauty and cosmetology, fashion and designing? Then the best institution to help you achieve your desired goals is GH Schools. In our media school, we offer 1-year certificate and 2 years diploma courses in television and film production, journalism and media studies, journalism and media art. In our cosmetology school, we offer 2 years full cosmetology course, 1.5 years beauty therapy course, 1 year beauty specialist course, course. In the fashion school, our programs include 1-year certificate course in fashion design, 2 years diploma course in fashion design and technology. At GH schools, industrial attachment is assured. We offer 70% practical training and 30% theory. Our fees are affordable and paid in installments. Register online at www.admissions.ghschools.online. GH Schools. Train, practice, achieve.
Now, traders at the Santana Market, a commercially vibrant hub sited in Abeka, are elated over the reduction in frequent cases of robbery at the facility following an improvement in security. In an interaction with our news team, they also lauded authorities for urgently addressing the exceedingly worrying situation, which endangered both lives and properties.
Ye ba market ni muno na nkofo wiewia yi enso ye tu ho anamo ya pe security bia o hwe ha mai na boso me ye tua neka disi ade nyankopon da worom ente se first na be ba no na omo be tutu ye ne ma ya gusu saata mo no kura na ye ni wo chima wa ha nso ye huom enchi wom sisi o chima yi ba ha no mu die obi ama ha Anua brass it say oh yes in first ne de na enye kura si ade na me adam no
onyankopon a obo ne ma ho ban no onyame aboye ho ban enam se empayefo tu ho anamon ekope obi a obehwe ha mayen ampa nipa no so baye no sa de ni nyina jai anua brass kura yenya ya hoto okwa wo de no ma ni si wona wakata so a ubeba na ewo ho obefo ade o asumbi so sheda mwasi
sesi ya nya watchman bi enti wo hwe hama enti sesi ade eye for the meantime no eye ya kuma to eye enso se ube nya bi aka ho ama eye pe
mpenifo na so anu ama ende ese benye obiso aboa support yeso no so aboa ese secret na ye tight wo hama so anka be boy so say market no kwa de amafo tu moni si ya ye niam say ebi wa no janu bibi wa say obeba no na eni ho nso ye wo chima wa si ya onno ye nso oye ba kope nti ebi ye say obi betumi aboa obi betumi atunu say obi mebo Santana fo say ye de wo chima biba be ka ho na wo ma boy a impako no so e be fa na mi asem so ya da nase weda nase pa say wo obedom ye abe ye fi ha obi mu nti da mo asese na pa yesu ma to ye no betie ye nsem a ha ye da mo ase nyame nhira mo
nyankopon adom ye nya brante bi a wo hwe ha mai nti da bia bosome bia no nipa ba ko bia otua 7 cedis table bia otua 7 cedis wa table ye mi no betua 14 cedis every saa time ne ko no de nyankopon adom ye nti ade ayira bia nti sese de ye hu se nyankopon adom solution aba amaye.
Up next is international news from my international partners, People's Dispatch.
And nothing I decided Truman capsules and so at their brand.
I can't think of what's up with you, Truman.
At the account, now you're Beman and Winnie.
2-man capsules. One mama ya bema bion.
Truman ye marima dro emofra woni imfiedu nwotwe intumi numbi. Sa dwedie nkra to we FDA for hwemu agya tum senhye.
Na jawti kai mu de da do bi kurasi wa se wantumi ansi
mate bi sisi bi sire why na me yikwa na teche wo e malaria din ya chisa
eja ka wakoma to yem so onom dan proke heba mister osisi mbadu se from oyire so doctor ka chene se o malaria mo ani bu oni pedue mu a so onom dank antima x yare malaria ebe kokora obi wo honom a ne yem ye ne yanso a so onom dank gastro care heba mister oho beton dank phyto care heba mister koko ebe ye hu adwuma ma wapon waposo wo tutu dank extra care ba mister obenya hoden ne watimi anante mekafo dank no nyina e di amamo
na ebenya dwedwe nya bi we
pharmacy shop ana herba shop also pe dank no a ye be ma obi
pacho mo number ye sen
0266593330
enroi oba penfo oba ma akora nufo anya akora woni mfie du mienu ntime no FDA ahwehwe sa edwedie nkratwe mu agya tum se eye.
Thailand police have announced a probe into 4 media outlets covering the ongoing anti-government protest, pursuing a massive digital crackdown on Monday, October 19th, 2020. The probe was sanctioned, in an order published on Friday, October 16th, 2020, and announced earlier on Monday.
The order, sanctioned by the Ministry of Digital Economy and Society, will be conducted against 4 media outlets, including Prachatai, The Reporters, Voice TV, and The Standard, along with an online pro-protest page, Free Youth. The order will also include a probe into more than 300,000 URLs on social media and the other digital platforms that the police have identified to be in violation of file laws. The Digital Ministry has also announced on Monday that it will seek a court order to block the 4 media groups along with Free Youth and the identified URLs. These moves by the police have prompted criticisms of the government of Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha of stifling press freedoms in the country. Prachatai posted the probe order over Twitter, taking it as a matter of credit to its reporting on Thailand. Honored to report accurate info about human rights and political development in Thailand, we'll try our best in continuing to do so. Read the tweet by its English Twitter handle. Since the ban on protests did not work, the military-backed government helps to create fear of telling the truth. We urge free media to resist, said Emily Palambi Pradichet, director of the digital rights advocacy group Manusia Foundation. The military-supported government had declared a state of emergency last week in a bid to end the protests that have been raging for over 3 months. The recent crackdown on digital media outlets and social media pages are part of the emergency measures imposed by the government. The emergency orders follow demonstrations held at the Democracy Monument in the national capital, Bangkok, as a royal motorcade carrying the Queen and a prince passed by. 2 activities, a Kachai Hong Kong 1 and Boon Kwe Noon, Palthunk, will be facing charges of harming the liberty of the Queen. Despite the police crackdown, the protests have continued unabated. On Sunday, October 18, massive protests were witnessed across the national capital. The police estimates of the number of protesters show participation of over 20,000 people at various demonstrations in Bangkok. Protesters could be seen occupying major intersections and landmarks of the city.
The President of the United States, Donald Trump, announced on Monday, October 19th, that Sudan will be removed from its list of states sponsoring tourism after the transitional government in Sudan agreed to pay $335 as a compensation for the victims of terror attacks on American embassies in Tanzania and in Kenya in 1998 and on the American ship USS Cole in 2000.
The talks over the amount of compensation between Sudan and the U.S. were going on since 2018. However, the announcement of a deal before the presidential polls in the U.S. is considered to be related to Trump's attempt to end the Israeli isolation in the Middle East region. The U.S. has been pursuing Arab countries to normalize their relation with Israel for the last couple of months. Last month, it had mediated normalization deal between Israel and the UAE and Bahrain. Mike Pompeo, the U.S. Secretary of State, had visited Sudan in August to persuade it for the same. However, Sudan's transitional government, led by Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok, had refused to do it due to its apprehension of popular unrest. The compensation money is supposed to go to the families of the American victims killed in the attacks. The U.S. had blamed that Sudan's Omar al-Bashir government was supporting and sheltering terrorists and had put the Sudan on the list of states sponsoring terrorism since 1993. There are 3 more countries in the American list: Syria, Iran, and North Korea. The Americans have accused the persons responsible for the attacks in which hundreds were killed, including a large number of American citizens, were operating from Sudan. Bashir had been deposed from power in a popular uprising in Sudan last year. The government in Sudan hopes that its removal from the terror list will boost the country's economic prospects.
Nigeria's southern state Edo Governor Godwin Obaseki has imposed a 24-hour curfew and outlawed the ongoing protest against police brutality after a prison break in Benin City on the morning of Monday, October 19th, 2020. Video clips show attacks on a rampage, breaking into prison in the city and freeing the inmates.
Protesters suspect that the jailbreak was orchestrated to create an excuse to stop the EndSARS protests, which have been ongoing since October 8. Protesters have been demanding police reforms and the dismantling of a special anti-robbery squad, SARS, which is accused of murder, torture, extortion and other atrocities. Soon after the jailbreak, announcing that a 24-hour curfew will be in effect starting from 4:00 p.m. on Monday, Osari Dion Ogi, Secretary of Edo State Government, said in a statement. Earlier, around 4 in the morning, protesters who had camped at the demonstration outside the Central Bank of Nigeria in the capital city Abuja were dispersed by thugs armed with sharp weapons and guns. Later in the day, scheduled demonstrations in Abuja had to be called off because more armed thugs have been roaming in the city in private jeeps, Leo said, but not all had withdrawn. In the evenings, thugs attacked the protesters and tortured their cars simultaneously, while the police were also dispersing the protesters with tear gas and live ammunition, according to Sahara reporters. Similar attacks by thugs were previously faced by protesters in Osun State on Thursday and again on Saturday. On Friday, another attack by armed thugs on a demonstration outside the Edo State legislature in Benin had left 2 protesters dead and many injured. These developments disturbing peace and security in the country have come in the build-up to 2 months-long military exercise announced by the army on Saturday, 2 days after releasing a statement constructed by many as a veiled threat to the protesters. Social media in Nigeria is currently flooded with clips and pictures of protests and of police brutality shared with the hashtag EndSARS. This has played an important role in spreading the protest into a countrywide mass movement with international solidarity demanding thorough reforms to the police, starting with the dissolution of SARS. On October 11, the Inspector General of Police had announced the dissolution of SARS in response to the yearnings of the Nigerian people. His statement added, however, that all officers and men of the now-defunct Special Anti-Robbery Squad are being redeployed with immediate effect. 2 days later, the formation of the Special Weapons and Tactics SWAT unit was announced.
Michael Entriboisiako is on standby with the sports news. Take and stay.
Yaria Bakwa, a higher member pa, especially. Yeah, 40 years and above, no, a fire prostate, to me prostate enlargement, and after prostatitis. So, acquire Sabia, ne catch us with PSA level, echo higher. Kaina who say prostate, no, and who ya touch ma. So, who say what chim and son of Wajonso, who Jonso and Emua Pai, and I say a duana jar, what I Jonso, and a kind of who say when your prostate disorder. So to me didi and as what tatinate in wapom and as when your daily supplement bia e betumi aboa ama o prostate no ejina na nice somebody man church we a natural link company a womode pros love capsules a eboa mberima prostate true man and a dinner capsules eboa emba efrichiriko obetumi afra mo.
Oh yes, our worries are over because Francochill Enterprise has come with a solution to all our air conditioning problems. When you need an expert in installation, servicing and repairs of your air condition in your offices, residential and commercial areas, then look no further than Francochill Enterprise. We also deal in the sale of air condition and air condition parts. We are located at Awush NIC right on Ajoj Junction. You can call us now on 055-934-0339. Francochill Enterprise, the chilling experts, we improvise, adapt and overcome.
Hello, good afternoon. Let's do some sports on the midday news. My name is Michael Nchubuesiaka. Let's begin with some transfer news involving some Ghanaian players. And Ghanaian shortstopper and former goalkeeper of Wow Stars has signed a deal with South African giant Orlando Pirates. There is more to this in the following report.
The former Maritzburg United goalkeeper had been a long-time target for the Buccaneers, and they have finally secured his services in a deal for 3 years. Ofori, who has over the years been the safest pair of hands for the Black Stars and has featured 85 times with 28 clean sheets under his belt, is expected to dethrone Wayne Sandilands for the #1 spot this season. He was nominated for the PSL Goalkeeper of the Year in the last 2 seasons, and Pirates fans had been calling for his signature throughout the transfer window. The 26-year-old was effusive of praise for his new team and described the squad as exciting in his official unveiling.
Still in football, Ghana youngster Kudus Mohammed has been named Player of the Week in the Dutch Eredivisie after an excellent display for Ajax in their whitewashing win over Heerenveen. The 20-year-old scored and provided a brace of assists as the Dutch champions dismantled their opponent 5-1 at the Johan Cruyff Arena on Sunday.
Mohammed was adjudged man of the match, his second since joining the Eredivisie outfit in the summer transfer window. His performance also earned him high ratings, making him the best player from the Eredivisie over the weekend. The former FC Nordsjælland player was making a return to the team after recovering from an injury that ruled him out of the Ghana's international friendlies against Mali and Qatar. The former Ghana under-17 and under-20 star assisted Dusan Tadic to open the scoring in the 4th minute. Kudus got himself onto the score sheet 10 minutes from the first half break after connecting a pass from Ryan following an excellent team effort. Kudus set up Brazilian forward Anthony Dos Santos with a lustrous pass in the 87th to seal the victory for Ajax.
Finally, the UEFA Champions League group stage matches will kick off today with a host of mouth-watering clashes between some top European clubs. Let's watch out which team plays who in the group stage competition.
After the devastation of a global pandemic, football is back. Last season ended with matches played behind closed doors. A new season is upon us, and Europe's top clubs are in action as the UEFA Champions League group stage kicks off today. Chelsea will be hoping to put their weekend woes behind them and start on a flyer as they sit home to Europa League champions Sevilla. Russian side FC Krasnodar will travel to France to battle Rennes in what seems an even clash. Elsewhere in Group F, FC Zenit St. Petersburg will host Belgian leaders Club Brugge in an unpredictable tie. After their long hiatus, Lazio will be making a return to the Champions League by travelling to the Signal Iduna Park to face Borussia Dortmund. Two-time winners Juventus are favourites to fetch all 3 points as they travel to Kiev, despite being without UEFA Champions League record goal scorer Cristiano Ronaldo due to COVID-19. Hungarian superpowers Ferencváros, after 25 years, returned to the UEFA Champions League group stage with a big test against Ronald Koeman's Barcelona. In Group H, 2019-2020 semi-finalists Red Bull Salzburg will hope to continue their heroics in the competition when they play host to Turkish side Istanbul Başakşehir. In their second Group H game, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his Chargers will be hoping to replicate their 2019 miracle when they face recent finalist Paris Saint-Germain.
Thank you very much. That is all we have for you by way of sports on the Midday News. My name is Michael Nchubosi Akonast. It's the Entertainment News. Stay tuned.
I beg your pardon, is an animal water-centered festival held by the Sawa Central Coastal people in Douala, Cameroon. The Sawa people takes place in the first 2 weeks of December on the Wari River bank in Douala and showcases the culture of the Sawa, the country coastal dwellers.
The Ngondo Festival is a way to connect with the spirit of water gods and has been celebrated as an annual religious traditional festival for countless years now. Ngondo Festival begins with a number of rituals and feasts performed to celebrate and rejoice the unity of various African tribesmen who gather there for further celebration of the event. The most interesting thing about this festival is that one spiritual spectacle or performance undertaken by Jengu cult that makes the event different from all other events and festivals celebrated in Cameroon. Traditionally, initiated Sawa Jengu cult members are sent by Sawa chiefs as messengers to the Sawa gods in the kingdom of Niangu, said to be living in River Wori. The initiated person dives and disappears into the big river. He stays under the water for over an hour and emerges with his body, the traditional attire and basket as dry as if they have not gotten in touch with water. Children are not allowed to attend this ceremony as there is a serious guided secret in performance of the festival's ritual. As a result of highly secretive nature with which gendered rituals are performed, the festival with the name Sawa has always designated all people known by this name today. Usually, each clan is identified by a specific name referring to the most common ancestor, but not all of the clans give themselves a name. Sometimes they were named by surrounding people. In the case of Sawa, our fellow citizens referred to as simple as the coastal people or Douala. In reality, This term identifies only one of the many clans, which has caused frustration among those who do not belong to the Douala clan in the strict sense, as banned by the Cameroonian government in 1981 and was restored in 1991. At the end of November each year, Douala vibrates to the rhythm of the Ngondo, the great cultural festival of the Sawa. For 2 weeks, this Cameroonian coastal people celebrate the cult of water on the banks of the Wori. The place has links with Cameroonian colonial history, as this was where the Portuguese navigator Fernando do Po landed in 1472. Amazed by the abundance of prawns, he gave the name of Rio dos Camarões, Prawn River in Portuguese, to the river that later gave its name to the country. Tradition has it that the Miengu protect their people and help them to carry out their instructions that are sources of blessing, strength, wisdom, prosperity, fertility, good fishing, good harvest, fraternity, and love of one another, peace in household and throughout the country.
Finally, veteran Ghanaian high-life musician and guitarist Anthony Akable has asserted that the older generation of musicians like himself only taught the youth to make money instead of passing on their own knowledge. He made this disclosure in relation to the current state of Ghana music industry.
He commented on the current strength level of the indigenous Ghanaian music and culture, how the young artists are carrying the music industry, and noted that during their era, they made lots of money and bequeathed it to the younger generation, which was not the right thing to do. The veteran music observed that since his generation was not focused on sharing their knowledge with the youth and taught them to make money instead, it has now become about survival of the fittest in the music industry, as they are all trying to diverse ways of putting together new music, and this is bad as we are losing our indigenous style of music. Akable advised that legends like himself make time to put their knowledge out on the internet so that the youth can easily have access to it and pass it on to generations after them.
So this is how we part ways this afternoon on Pan-African News with me, Anane Nartey. Now I recap of the headline. Electoral Commission disqualifies 5 aspirants, class 12 to contest 2020 polls. NDC launches 2020 campaign in Shayo Sudoku constituency. Security is on top of affairs for successful election, Defense Minister says. Thank you for your time once again. My name is Anane Nartey. Do well to follow us on our social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter at Pan-African Television. My name, Anane Nartey, and do have a good afternoon. Bye.